Hello, friends. We are back. And no, we don't have a Q&A this week. However, there was one thing that was the most requested every week during season 50, and that was, can I share my audition tape and can I share tips for somebody who might want to submit an audition tape? And the time has finally come. Not only am I going to share my audition tape with you guys, but I'm going to come back after y'all get a chance to watch and give y'all my top tips on what I think makes a good Survivor audition tape. So let's run the tape. Hey, Survivor producers. My name is Tiffany Nicole Ervin. I'm 31 years old, and I currently live in Elizabeth, New Jersey with my fur baby, Juju, who's hanging out over here. Say hi, Juju. She is the light of my life. But enough about her. Let's get to why I'm here, and that is to play the game of Survivor. But before I tell you why, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am a visual artist, a content creator, and an on-air talent. I've done work on red carpets like the Grammy Awards, the Met Gala, and worked with companies like Nike. I've been an artist for several years, and I have no formal training. This is just purely grit, hustle, YouTube University, and just me teaching myself things when there's a path that I see for myself and I want it and I go for it. I've been told many times, like, oh, it's too competitive out there. The entertainment and the art industry is difficult to break into. But one thing that I've learned is that when somebody tells me I can't do something, that makes me want to do it 10 times more. When somebody tells me something is too difficult, that makes me want to do it 20 times more. Because above all else, I want to prove to myself that I'm that girl. And I feel like playing the game of Survivor, being an artist and a content creator, has specifically set me up for success in a game like Survivor, because where the average person sees a square, I see a 3D cube. I'm always thinking 10, 11, 12 steps ahead. And while this may not be an asset in the eyes of most people, I like to use it as an asset for myself because I'm an overthinker. I overthink the fuck out of everything. And while that may not always serve you, I use it to my advantage because it only hinders you when you don't know how to keep your mouth shut. And I find that a lot of players on the island, they use trust as a bargaining chip, but sometimes they don't use it right. Like, you gotta give them little pieces of information. If your whole personality in your game is a piece of cake, then baby, give them a crumb. Give them a little taste of the icing. Like, people be giving up the whole pie or the whole cake and thinking that they're gonna have any incentive to keep you. No, like, now you have no leverage and your game is done. But anyways, I digress. I've been a huge Survivor fan for I don't know how many years. I usually watch it with my best friend Jessica or my dad, and seeing the game evolve over the years, it's been so inspiring, and it's definitely something that I'm not gonna say I've always wanted to do. It's something that I wanted to do earlier on in life, and then I became a hoe for convenience and comfort, and I was like, damn, like, could I still do this? Honestly, the thing that scares me the most about living on an island is wearing the same underwear for 30 days. It's not the blindsiding or the backstabbing. It's the hygiene. But if I can get past that, then we lit. As far as blindsides go, I feel like I've really recently suffered like a major blindside. This is the part of the video where I'm going to have to just fast forward a little bit. I basically told the producers all of my business. But long story short, I'm really just not giving my ex any airtime during this video. I also took the opportunity to show the producers that the things that I was dealing with were not just, obstacles in my life at the time, but things that were shaping my viewpoint on life in general and how I would play the game. So if you're out there and you're going through something, I encourage you not to leave that part out. Go ahead, be open, be real, and let the producers know that the things that you're dealing with in life, they don't define you, but they will help define your gameplay and make you that much better and more well-rounded of a player. I think that has kind of shifted my mindset and allowed me to realize that, like, you can't take any day for granted. And if you want something, you got to go get it. So producers, if you are looking for your next Survivor 44 winner, if you're looking for the person who's about to get on that island and show their ass for this $1 million, no matter what it takes, then I'm your girl. All right, she's out there. You guys have finally seen my audition tape. And with that being said, I'm going to tell y'all what I think my tips are that make a great Survivor audition tape. Now, again, this is not like some proven formula. This is not guaranteed to get you out there. However, this is what I did, and this is what I think helps make a good tape. So, no, my word is not gospel, but I did get on Survivor twice. So I think this might help a little bit. Hopefully, this helps somebody out there. Number one, you have to have good lighting and good composition. A great example is this right here. Good lighting, good framing. I got a little bit of headroom. We can see my shoulders. Now, obviously, there are Survivor audition tapes where people decide to take it out in the wild and do all kinds of crazy stuff and, very interesting stuff. That is not what I did. My Survivor tape was very simple, very real, just me sitting on the couch. Now, this is also not me saying that I don't think that other stuff works. This is just what worked for me. So you can do all that stuff, but that's not what got me on Survivor. So I can't help y'all with that. However, number one, great framing. Number two, don't try to do the most. And when I say do the most, I mean, don't try to be somebody you're not. The Survivor producers have been doing this a very long time, and they can see through the fake shit. I think that the best way to get somebody to notice you is obviously you should be high energy. If you're not naturally a high energy person, then try to be interesting and engaging. Pretend that you're having conversation with somebody that is just so tea. Pretend that you are sitting out with margaritas with your bestie and y'all about to spill the hottest tea of the season. That is what's going to draw people in. Another tip is always consider the story you're trying to tell. Now, obviously, the Survivor producers want to know about you. They want to know who you are. But I wouldn't advise you just get up there and talk about your whole life story. For every fact that you give about yourself, I suggest that you go back and tie that fact to why you're a good Survivor player. For example, one of the things I did was I'm like, hey, my name is Tiffany. I'm an artist. Yes, I could have said that, but instead I said, my name is Tiffany. I'm an artist. And I think that being an artist is going to give me an advantage playing Survivor because while everybody else is viewing the game from a 2D standpoint, I'm looking at it from all angles. I'm looking at a 3D cube. I'm looking at it from an abstract point of view. You got to always tie the things about you that are good and interesting to why they will make you a good player. Another tip, and arguably one of the most important tips outside of the good lighting and just really being an engaging speaker, pretend that this is a confessional. Talk to the camera as if somebody's already watching you on TV. Because at the end of the day, what they are looking for is this person going to be interesting to watch? If you get up there and you're boring and you're monotone and you're not giving somebody a good impression of yourself, then why would they want to bring you back for round two? This is going to be the litmus test because they're going to look at this audition tape as if it's confessional, as if it's you on TV. Is this person interesting to watch? That is the bottom line. If you want to tune out of your audition tape after the first 10 to 15 seconds, then I guarantee you somebody else watching is going to want to tune out as well. And while those are the most important tips, I know this is very cliche to say, but be yourself. Everybody else is taken, babe. They are really going to be able to tell if you're being fake. If you're not a person that's going to manipulate and lie, then don't get up here and say that because when you get out there, they're also going to be looking for that. And then let's just say you make it on Survivor, then you'll be a flop. Not only is it important to be yourself because I feel like that makes an interesting tape, but being yourself helps the Survivor producers put together a good puzzle and put together a good season. Think about you and what your personality naturally is. And now think about all the other people that the Survivor producers have to cast around you. Your personality is just a piece of a bigger puzzle that the producers are trying to put together. So don't be fake. Don't make up stuff about you that's not actually true. They do a background check, trust me. So when you start making stuff up, they will find out if you're lying. Another thing, you don't have to be a Survivor super fan to make a good audition tape, but I would suggest that you go back and at least watch a few seasons before you decide to submit this tape because it's very important for you to be able to reference moments in the game. Maybe compare yourself to other Survivor players. Say what it is in a person that you like. Say what it is in a person that you don't like. I don't even remember if I did that in my audition tape or not, but I do remember explaining explicitly how I felt like I would interact with certain types of players and what my strategy would be to get me through the game. I think those are my biggest tips, but just to recap, number one, please, I cannot stress this enough. Good lighting, good framing. Number two, talk to the camera as if you are about to spill some hot tea. Because at the end of the day, the producers are really just trying to answer one question: are you entertaining to watch or not? Three, do not lie. Do not make up stuff about yourself that's not true. They will find out and they will shove you off to the side. And most importantly, remember, every piece of information you give about yourself, tie it back to why that makes you a good Survivor player and how that's going to influence how you move through the game. Also, don't try to be a blueprint of somebody else that you already saw play. It's okay to say, like, I feel like my game is similar to this person, or I feel like my game is similar to that person, but you need to be original. Survivor producers are always looking for something fresh, something new, a different story to tell, a different perspective. And the more unique you are, the more that's going to help you. I also believe that it's very important to know your why. The Survivor producers are going to ask you, why do you want to play this game? And your answer cannot just be, because I want to win $1,000,000. I promise you that's not going to cut it. And it's definitely not going to cut it when you get out there on the island and you're starving and tired and people are trying you. So I encourage you to dig deep, find a real why, a why that's going to keep you going every day in the game and that you can hold on to in times of difficulty, because Survivor is a difficult game. It's a fun game, it's a rewarding game, but it's also very difficult. So after you've done all those other things and you make sure you hit all those check marks, you sit down and you figure out, what is my why? And then you figure out a way to incorporate that into your video in a way that flows naturally, that feels authentic, and that feels true to you. At the end of the day, the Survivor producers want people that are going to be true to themselves, because all that other stuff is noise and Survivor fans are going to see right through it. And if I'm being honest with y'all, I haven't watched that video in so long, so I don't even remember what I was saying, because I truly just sat down on the couch and I was just chatting. But I think that that is the thing that's going to help you. If you're a person that's good with improv and just talking off the top of the head, then it's perfect. But if you're not, it's also okay to, like, write down some major bullet points about yourself. Maybe have an index card sitting off to the side that you can reference so that you don't feel nervous and you can kind of get through the video in like a natural flow state. Whatever works for you, come up with the script in your head, make sure it's real. You don't got to read anything word for word, because at the end of the day, you don't want your tape to feel robotic. You want it to feel authentic. You want it to feel like you're having a human conversation. But heck, if y'all want to go back and use my video as a template, I feel like I put like a lower third. I might have added some pictures in there, but the meat and potatoes in my video was, I am showing them what my personality is like. I'm making sure it shows through the camera. I'm telling them about myself, and I'm tying every single point back to why the things that make me me will also make me a good Survivor player. Yeah, I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any questions, you can ask them down in the comments. If I missed something or if there's a burning question that you have, ask me down below and I'll reply back to y'all. But honestly, those are the biggest things. There really is no direct science to making an audition tape. These are the things that I did. These are the things that helped me, and I hope they can help you too. And obviously, I know the second most requested video was my Survivor workout routine. I got y'all next week. Love y'all. I'll see y'all next week. Same time, same place.